next piece of new news. I don't know if I'm going to do that every time, but this is the other piece of new news. This one actually does fall into that 2004 area. This one happened in 2005 in Holland. And what's interesting about some of these articles is I haven't been able to find a lot of follow-up. These are just kind of vague blurbs. In Holland, there's this guy, he was 42 years old, so my age. They didn't release his name in the court documents. He just went by the name RZ. He gets a vision from God who tells him, you need to make a sacrifice. And he's like, yeah, dude, you're totally right. Like, that is what I need to do. It's 2005. There's not a lot of good television. There was kind of like the dead area. It was before the golden age of television. So all you kind of did was sit around and have visions from God. I'm approaching the story very glib compared to what's coming. He has a vision from God. He says, hey, stop watching Powerpuff Girls and drinking Surge soda. I don't know what was around in 2005. Anyways, so God comes down and says, you need a sacrifice. And the guy goes, you know what, dude? I love my mom so much. She would be the best sacrifice ever. Because I'm giving up something that I truly love. And God's like, yeah, totally, dude. And then he vanishes. Spoiler alert, it wasn't actually God. But this guy decides, yeah, I have to sacrifice my mom. His mom's 76 years old. He creeps up behind her and bashes her head in. And you're like, okay, that's gross. Sacrifice is over, right? Then he slits her throat, and you're like, dude, hey, stop it. Sacrifice is over. Then he cuts her arms off, and you're just like, now you're kind of just standing silently in the corner, and you're like, dear God, please let the sacrifice be over. But it's not, because then you spend the next 8 hours huddled in the corner of the room as he's skinning her. Still not done. He then puts on her skin, puts on one of her dresses, because he has to be modest, right? You just can't wear a dead person's skin just out in the public. You got to put on some clothes over it. Where's her skin? Now he has free movement of her arms, because her arms are cut off. I'm sorry, this story is super brutal, and I'm being jokey about it, but I don't think there's really any other way to approach it. He puts on her skin, puts on her dress, he goes out into the street, and starts directing traffic for the local Hollandaise, the Hollidians, we'll call them. For the local Hollidians. He stands out there, directs traffic, screaming out Bible verses. Eventually, somebody calls in and they go to the police. They go, there's a man out here who's wearing a dress covered in blood, and I think there might be something on under that dress, but I don't want to know. And so the cops come and they arrest him. And he goes peacefully. He's in prison. Supposedly, that's just the end of the article. I tried looking up to see if, he was ever adjudicated, if he's still in jail, any of that stuff. It's been memory hold. All that information's gone. It's an interesting thing because you'll find articles from way, way back that people have just kind of forgotten about. Now, I could have just read you the headline of it is more succinct than anything I could say. The headline of that article is, Killer Directs Traffic Wearing Mom's Skin. So I could have just read you that, but I wanted you to picture it more for whatever horrifying reason. Okay, that's all with new news, and that's funny. That actually took about as much time as a normal story, but that was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.